Now, we are not going to get tired. We are not going to get fed up because it's an exciting, super amazing time that you have. This is just in case you're watching this after work and you're a bit tired because your partner in work said you should do this and you've been working late. Let's not worry about that. We're going to be back. We're excited and we're here to really prepare for the physical stages of this process. So you've done your checklist. You've got a really, really good idea of what it is you think you want at this stage. You still won't know, and that's being honest. But let's look at the next stages, your preparation for viewing. The three things I want you to think of are the what, the why, and the where. So what is it you're going to be looking at? Where is it you're going to be looking at? And why are you looking at it? So much like the example I've given a couple of times, which is more relevant than you'd imagine, is if you have €20,000 to buy a car, why would you look at Ferraris? If your list says I must have a south-facing garden, why are you thinking of looking at a north-facing garden? Seems simple, but when you're busy, you're tired, and you're trying to maximize your time, you sometimes muddy the water by going to be busy for the sake of being busy, but if I did the same in work, I'd get nothing done. So let's get practical. When we're looking at preparation for viewing, there's a value exchange. So Ireland is a small place. And because you're looking at a course to buy property in Ireland, we will assume you're looking in Ireland. Okay? Now, estate agents are obviously very busy. They have a huge amount on their plate. They tend to have multiple keys at any given time, and they're doing their best they can to keep things moving, open doors, be polite as they can, depending on the agency, and moving things along. You have to spend time with that person and they have to do the same with you. There is a value exchange between your time. Your time is not more valuable than theirs and vice versa. So remember, the person you meet at property 1 may be the same person you meet at property 21. We don't want to look at 21 properties, but you know what I mean. So be polite, manage your time, be mindful of the times that they have available, and be communicative. So when you're booking into a viewing, be as polite as you can. Make sure that the names, this sounds so simple, but if you're booking under your name, make sure they're aware that when you sign in, that you're using the same name or noting a different name at the door. So if it was Andrew Rattigan on the booking and Jennifer Johnson goes in, they have no context. Simple things like this from an admin point of view make an agent's life a lot easier. The easier you make an agent's life, the more chance you have of an open, honest conversation and getting some semblance of an idea of where things are at. We're in a busy market, but above all else, you're buying bricks and mortar. As I said before, terms and conditions apply. You are dealing with people. There is emotion, there is humanity, there is stress, frustration, fatigue, kids in the background, jobs, traffic, you name it. And your agent or the agent has the same stuff to deal with that you do. So be mindful of that. You will need them at some stage. Next, we're going to be looking at your why, what, and where. So I'm not trying to pull a Simon Sinek on it, but when you're looking at why you want to see a property, are you looking at it because it happens to be for sale, or you really want to look at it based on your list? If it's the latter, make that time. Go see it and really enjoy getting a sense of whether it suits you and your budget or not. But if you don't like it or you don't want it and you can't stand that particular road, you are going to tire yourself out by viewing something that does not suit. So be careful of that. What are you looking at? If your list said it had to be a semi-detached or a bungalow or an end of terrace because you needed side access, why are you looking at a terraced house right now? Why are you looking at a third floor apartment when you needed ground floor? These are all examples, but the concept is the same. You may need to look at those further down the line, but now I want you to think what it is I want on my list and what's on the ground now for me to understand whether it suits me or not. And then where. So if you said you had to live in Ranelagh, Ballsbridge, really close to the city centre, and you happen to see something that comes up on your radar, the dream of the non-commutable desktop or remote desktop job comes up, and you look at Wicklow, Wexford, Ashford, wherever it may be, stop. Why are you looking somewhere where you have no understanding of what day-to-day life is going to be there at such an early stage? That's not to say you're not allowed to change your mind. You are. Everyone can change their minds. That's the joy of life. But at this stage, if you are all over the place, it's like being all things to all people. you will be nothing to everybody if you look at property that doesn't suit you at this stage in the process. So stick to the areas you think you want, assess them from an availability point of view, and then maybe later on allocate time to areas that you may not have realized give you that extra value. But again, you have to take into account your goals, your dreams, your partner's goals and dreams, and your day-to-day logistics of jobs, commutes, no commutes, pets, lifestyle, safety, practicality, everything else in between. So for this module, I want you to really think about using your checklist and really executing that on your viewings. But lead with remembering the what, where and why, and the value exchange with that agent. The politer you are, the more memorable you are in a positive sense, the better footing you are in a very busy market where people get given out to quite a lot. So remember, they're dealing with someone and you're dealing with the person too.